Hey there, this is George and today I'm doing a review of The Order 1886. After reading and hearing all the negative things that were said about this game before its release, I wanted to play this game with an open mind. With that being said, this game is set in an alternate reality in London, where a group of knights that can trace themselves back to King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table keep the world safe from half-breeds, or half-man, half-beasts. If you're getting this game thinking that you're going to be fighting lots of werewolves, well, think again because you rarely fight them. Who you actually fight the most are a group of rebels that are fighting against the government. I want to start off by saying that this game has lots of quick time events, like, a lot. A cutscene would usually be interrupted for one, which is annoying because you're taken out of the game by these long cutscenes, and then they try to bring you back in with a quick time event, which doesn't work very well. And what would seem like a cool fight would be interrupted for a few. The game does get creative with them, but the lack of actual playing to using QuickTime events is kind of annoying. While going through this game, you find that the developers are very proud of what they made. As well they should be. The game looks fantastic, the voice acting is great. Everything about this game looks amazing.
You do not intend to stay aboard?
We will join you as soon as we can.
Izzy, see to these people, then head to the cockpit.
No, I'm coming with you.
Izzy, you need to find Lafayette and get off this ship.
I...
Your brother charged me to bring you back safely.
But it seems to me that they're a little bit too much in love. A lot of the time when you're given a new weapon or an item in the game gives you time to inspect it. At one point I picked up an apple and had it inspected. The game wants you to look at things only when it wants you to. There's not much at all to explore in the city, which I wish there was because it looked really great and alive. But when it comes to random rooms with random items to inspect, the game gives you an objective of exploring that room, which gets really old and annoying very quickly. Another annoyance during the game was the black bar during fights when you were crouched, which you usually are. The battles themselves were pretty fun. Different locations and different people with different weapons, and the battles weren't extended to where it got annoying, but the black bar was the only bad part about them. Game mechanics were solid, and the weapons were actually really cool. The only bad part was that you barely get to use the really cool ones. The game kind of gives them to you and then to play with for a little while, and then they take it away from you really quickly. Like this gun, it's called the thermite gun, and it was probably one of my favorites in the game, but you can barely use it. And this electric gun, where I only used about twice. This is a screenshot I took of the weapons and different stuff that you have in your inventory. On the left you have your pistol-sized guns. On the right you have your larger guns. And at the top you have smoke grenades, and bottom you have frag grenades. The grenades you barely get in the game, and the thing I didn't like the most is that you can only have 2 guns, because there are a lot of cool guns in this game, and it only lets you have 2 of them. Now to move on to the most controversial topic for this game, and that is its length. This game has 16 chapters total. That might seem like a lot, but they each vary in length and what you actually do in them. A few of the chapters were just cutscenes. I finished this game in about 8 hours, which is the average time that it looked like everyone else was beating it in. It's a pretty straightforward game, no side stuff, barely any collectibles, and trying to find them, and this little cutscene that was used for searching drawers and cabinets was so slow and boring that I just stopped looking for them very early on in the game. The only collectible was this little recording that I didn't really care for.
What are these rebels up to?
As I was playing this game, I found myself liking the story. I really liked the premise in the first place, and playing it wasn't that boring. It's just when you get to the end that kills it, and for some reason the game sets up a possible sequel. If you really want to play this game, I suggest renting it. I rented it from Redbox for $3. I do not suggest buying it. Out of 10, I'm going to give this game a 6.5. I'm giving it a 6.5 because it was fun and challenging at some points. The battles and weapons were really interesting, and the story definitely caught my interest. The reason it's not a 10 is because the sheer lack of actually using the controller. That definitely made it a bit boring at some parts. And the length was short, and the fact that there's nothing really to do after you beat the game. This was my The Order 1886 review. Please like, subscribe, and comment what you think. My name is George. Thanks for watching.